pills and he never took no lipids. I had a serial libertarian and he came and he saw some shit he said.
Hello, how's it going? Here we go. Recording, we're back. Hi, how's it going? Welcome. I don't know who's here. I don't really care. This shit was awesome. Fucking UFC fight night. Finally. I never realized how much I miss sports until just this moment. We had a pretty good show for you today. I can't. It was very emotional. I want to get some people to weigh in and see what we can do here. It's just fucking so great. You know, it's just fucking amazing. Yeah, you know what? Let's just jump into shit, man. This is fucking great. What up, Mikey? Ran out of thoughts. What up, everybody? How y'all doing? Pretty goddamn good. Here we go. This is a really quick one today. We're gonna just get right through it. We're gonna just run.
Hello.
What up?
How you doing?
Did you watch it?
I did.
Dude, all right, first off, we're on Twitch. I'm doing a quick wrap-up of everything, right? So
Right.
we're just going to be talking MMA quick and cutting you loose.
Okay.
How fucking awesome was that?
Dude, the whole card was pretty damn sweet, top to bottom. Some of the decisions I thought were a little fucking goofy.
Yeah, I thought that Dominic decision was wrong, and I thought it was really interesting that it was the same ref that fucked up the eye poke with Cowboy.
Right.
And,
Yeah, exactly.
What up, Moonlight Burial? How are you? Good to see you. He said, Moonlight Burial says, how's everyone hating on Justin for busting Tony up and breaking the curse? Are they hating on him? I'm not. I mean, I think everybody here knows that I'm a big Gaethje fan. They just watched me go on JBTV's other Twitch channel and bet. I also put money down. Shit's all right, man.
Right.
Do you have any money on this or no?
No, I didn't. I should have, though, because I would have probably bet against Cowboy, but there's probably no money in that Pettis fight. I would have probably also put money on Callum Gabbard.
You would have bet against Cowboy?
Oh, shit!
Yeah, I mean, I love him and stuff like that, but I mean, the way he's been fighting lately, it's weird. Because even when he comes out and has like a weird vendetta or whatever, like he's trying to get on the right path, right?
Yeah.
He's had a bunch of bad losses. He came out like this one, just a little too sluggish, but for him to lose a unanimous decision, that doesn't make any sense because I know there's at least a round and a half or whatever he won. He won the first round in my book, and in the second round, it could have been split either way. So it should have been a split decision, just depending on who you wanted to give. But
oh, I see what you're saying. You're more mad that it was unanimous?
yeah, there's no way that was unanimous.
Well, that's like that first fight. Like, what fight were you even watching? That's crazy. The Sam Alvey and whoever else it was?
Ryan Spann?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, I didn't get a chance to see a lot of that because, I don't know, Hulu was very fucking weird today. Like, if you were trying to watch the prelims through Hulu, it kept fucking blanking out of me. So, like, I got to see almost all the Bryce Mitchell fight, almost none of the fucking Spann, and then it cut out at the very fucking end of that Price and
not the Nico Price
Luke
fight. God damn it, really?
Yeah, like right at the end, so I didn't see what happened. And I just had to like catch a
Excuse
replay on
me,
fucking,
bitch!
Twitter or something like that.
Oh, that's
man.
the fucking worst,
pissed.
dude. I'm so sorry. The finish was dope.
Apology accepted.
Like, watching it back and so I was like, God damn it! I wish I would have fucking freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because I really thought if that had gone to decision, I thought Price would have won that one. But
Moonlight Burial says Nico's eyes was nasty. Yeah, he was. It was a very nasty fucking fight. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm so proud of my boy Gaethje because you know me, I'm a big Gaethje guy. I've been on the Gaethje wagon since the dude signed. I was surprised when he lost. I think like what I love about him is the honesty. But then like when it's time to just walk through the crucible, he's like, here we go. You know, and to see Gaethje step up at this level, and he didn't, like, at first you're worried, oh shit, is he gonna gas himself out? You know, he gets cracked at the end of round 1 or 2. I wasn't worried about that because that's what Justin does. He gets cracked, he picks himself up, and he carries on. But it's interesting, and this, like, I'm not gonna talk shit about Tony, but I've been talking shit about Tony for a while. I've always thought that he was overhyped. Like, you don't impress me by mowing to a decision against Pettis. I don't think Pettis is that good anymore. I mean, maybe he was at one point, but I mean, like, even that Cowboy fight, I feel like Gaethje would run through both those motherfuckers. I just do.
Well, he did. I mean, he literally destroyed the shit out of Cowboy.
Yeah,
and,
I don't think did he fight Pettis, though? I don't think he fought Pettis.
No, but, I mean, and that's going to be a ways off. Like, if Pettis even gets close to a title fight anytime soon, would be, I think, disastrous for him because he doesn't have it anymore. In my book.
Sreejet06 says, this proves that Ferguson-Khabib was never meant to be. Yeah, I mean, I think the MMA gods have spoken, right? Like, we're never getting Ferguson-Khabib because, like, if you're Khabib and now you have a legitimate way to fight Gaethje over Ferguson, you're taking that fight.
Oh shit!
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, I just can't believe how many fucking shots he took, though. I mean, that was honestly the best boxing fucking match I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. Well, and it's so cool that it came when it did because this is such an awesome, unique point of view and time for MMA as a sport because this is the most eyes you're ever going to get. Every motherfucker that's just been on the fence about MMA or didn't care or isn't watching, everybody was watching this because if you like sports, this is the only sports on. So if you want to watch like triple A league, like Japanese baseball, this wasn't for you. But for everybody else, we got this. Because, I mean, there's no baseball. There was no basketball. There's no hockey. You know what I mean? Like, this is the sporting event. And if MMA got their way, like, we would have already had 2 of these. But it's just, I'm so mad that we got robbed, to your point, Streetjit06. I'm so mad that we got robbed of that fight because I was looking forward to that fight specifically being with no crowd. I wanted to hear Khabib talk shit on top of somebody. Just like, it would have been the best. And how funny was it that the fighters were hearing the commentators?
Yeah, I mean, even, who was it, Greg Hardy made mention that he had heard DC during his fight and he made the changes and stuff. And that was another one, too, that really kind of pissed me off, that fucking decision. Because there's no way Greg Hardy won all 3 of those fucking rounds.
No.
At all. I mean,
how boring.
He escaped fucking the first round with his life. I mean, you saw his fucking knee. There's no way you give that first round to him if you saw how red his knee was.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen a knee that fucking bad since Forrest Griffin fucked the shit out of Rampage Jackson's knee.
I thought you were gonna go. I thought you were gonna go Anderson Silva.
Well, yeah, maybe, but yeah. Well, that wasn't so much the knee, but.
Moonlight Burial says, no one fucks Tony up the way he did. He literally broke his face. He had him shaking in the face like a wet dog. There was so much blood. Yeah, that's fair. All of what you just said is fair.
Yes.
AG35 says, I want McGregor versus Gaethje. That fight would be a proper war. Yeah, I mean, I think that Gaethje... So here's what happens with Khabib that nobody's talking about is that it's Ramadan. So you talk about after that, you talk about another fight. Like, how bad do we think Gaethje's hurt? Because it doesn't seem like he took that much damage. Like, I'll be interested to see the report tomorrow because if Gaethje didn't take that much damage, McGregor-Gaethje for the interim title seems like the logical next move. Because then, if McGregor wins, you strap a belt on him, and now you have champion versus champion leading in to the McGregor stuff, which is what you're leaning on anyways. That's what you want.
Right. I mean, a rematch between McGregor and Khabib would be fun to watch. I don't know. Honestly, I think I'd be kind of bored with Gaethje and McGregor just because of what we saw tonight. Because McGregor doesn't have the chin that Ferguson does. Like, there's just no way he survives.
Yeah, but okay,
I'll
play devil's advocate, right? I don't think McGregor is going to get pieced up like Tony does. The thing about Tony is that Tony was doing that weird-ass, like, shitty, weird momentum thing, and he's a pressure fighter. McGregor's not. McGregor's a counter fighter, so he'll make Justin press the action. So the way that Gaethje fought tonight against Ferguson was literally the perfect fight style and strategy for Ferguson. But I don't think that works. If he comes in like that against McGregor, he doesn't win. And I don't know. My heart's hard on that one because they're both my guys. You know?
Right.
I think McGregor does beat. Yeah. Aj35 said McGregor beats Gaethje. He's the best counter striker in the lightweight division. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. It's like, because the thing with Tony is that he's not known for his counter striking. He's known for walking through things and then giving you. And that style was never going to hold up to Justin Gaethje. And people forget, like, people disrespect Justin Gaethje, but he's only lost twice. Once, Dustin Poirier genuinely beat him, and 2, he got super cocky against Eddie Alvarez, who came back to life and knocked him out, which Eddie Alvarez will do.
Yeah.
That's not,
exactly.
you know, that's not outside of the realm of possibility.
No, it's not.
And AG35 has it right. Yeah, Tony's style played right into the Gaethje's plan. Like it's like they game planned for Tony, and then Tony literally did everything they game planned for. Like, I guarantee you they didn't see anything new. And how funny is it that you have a fucking Division I wrestler and a, like, decorated jiu-jitsu guy and it doesn't hit the ground once?
Oh, it's very rare. Mostly because anybody who's a wrestler generally relies upon that. I mean, DC maybe not so much himself anymore, but I mean, when he was going through Strikeforce there, he was getting guys to the ground, at least wearing them down or getting them tired when they had that heavyweight tournament and stuff. But yeah, you just don't see that because, I mean, anybody who makes that mistake as far as, you know, jiu-jitsu guys or wrestlers or even like Rousey with the judo, if you go away from what got you to the show, you generally end up getting fucked up. But I mean, Gaethje just shows that he's a striker, man. I mean, holy shit, dude. He had calculated shots, though. I mean, some of those things landed without even Tony seeing them. That was all. Like, that was the thing. Everything was so fluid that Gaethje threw. That was. I mean, that's why I don't know. I don't know if McGregor being a great counter striker is going to matter if he can't physically fucking shake it off in time to counter. Is what I'm saying.
Well, and that's exactly what it was. Is they weren't giving him any room to fucking breathe at all.
Right.
And
I mean, to Tony's credit though too. I mean, honestly, he wasn't winded at all. So I mean, he was still ready to go. He just kind of got the loops to him. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think that he's ever encountered anybody that didn't melt like that. You know, like he hit Justin with enough shots where everybody else he's ever hit like that has gone away. And Justin's like, yeah, but what if I just keep hitting you? What if I just keep fucking left hooking your face? Like, because I'm just gonna.
I'd like to see the final stats though on that fight, because I would almost say. Well, here I'm right on my computer right now. What stats do you want? I'll look it up right now. What do you want? Like, what was the significant strikes? Because I would almost say Gaethje was probably 3-1 on those.
All right, here we go.
I mean, strikes in general, I'd assume 3-1, but even significant strikes, I would say, is about the same level.
Let's see here. None of that.
But also too, like there's
yet. So okay, hold on. I'll find it. Here we go. Live results. Yeah. Okay. So what are you looking for? So here, we'll put this on so people can see it. So significant strikes, right? Significant strikes thrown, right?
Right.
Gaethje only threw 234. Ferguson threw 349.
Really?
Yeah. Significant strikes landed. Gaethje landed 74. Tony landed 48. Here's the real thing, though, right? Takedowns attempted, 0 on both sides.
Right.
0 knockdowns on both sides.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Like, the only stat they have is significant strikes thrown and landed. Everything else is 0 because there's no, and even the cage control was 0 because they were both kind of hanging in there.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it doesn't surprise me. I guess Tony did try and throw a lot of weird.
The really interesting one is when you break it down by round, right? So I'm looking at round 1 right now. You have round 1 has there we go. 68 to 48 thrown. And then landed was 10 for Tony and 11 for Justin. So they were hitting about the same rate, but Ferguson was throwing like 20 more, so he was missing more, you know? Like, this is the one that was really crazy, was round 2, right? So, like, Tony Ferguson threw 81 significant strikes. Gaethje threw 56, right? Tony only landed 9, and Gaethje only landed 15, which means both of them were swinging and missing.
Yep.
And the thing about Gaethje is that his numbers just kept creeping up, and then in the 5th round, he separates with 20 landed to 6.
Yeah.
But like round 4, it's 16-13 landed. It's 10-12, but each round, like that one is 83-43, and then it goes up to 75-49. So like Tony Ferguson was throwing out twice as many punches to actually get to the point where he could even be hitting the same numbers because they hit around the same time.
Right.
Drew says, "Yo, get a fucking Xbox."
Also, too, there was actually one takedown attempt. It was just a bad attempt when Tony tried to do that stupid fucking roll up his.
Yeah, I don't think that he was attempting. I think it was one of that seems so sometimes to me, right, in MMA, sometimes fighters will just tell people what they're going to do and then they'll bet money on it. And that just seemed like a fucking he was going to do that because everybody like he was going to do it. You know what I mean? He was like no matter what happened, that was going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy though too, because I mean, it's weird. Well, it's not weird, but that main event completely overshadowed how great the rest of the card was.
Oh, best card I've seen maybe ever. That literally might have been the best top to bottom MMA event I've ever seen.
I think so. And to let everybody know too, I texted Corey about that Mitchell and Rosa fight, and then he called me afterwards. And if you guys didn't see it, it's crazy. Go back and watch it. I mean, Mitchell completely dominated everything. Rosa was actually going into the fight, I guess, talking about how good he is on the ground. And then he lost the fucking fight 30-25, 30-25, 30-24, which means the ring post had more fucking scores than Rosa did in this one. I mean, that's the fucking crazy thing about that. He only got 9 points in one round by 2 of the judges. The other judges like, no, this guy doesn't even fucking deserve to be in there right now. So go back and watch that one, man, if people missed that part of the prelims, because it was fucking crazy.
All right, let's see here. Agely34 is saying, I wonder would Tony have finished Gaethje in round 2 if it was earlier in the round? No, I don't think so. If you look at Gaethje, he gets cracked in every fight ever. Like, you can't, that's why they call him the human highlight reel. You can't find a single Gaethje fight where he doesn't get stunned. I mean, that's like, he got lucky that it was at the end of the round. That's kind of one of the major bitches I have with that Cruz stoppage, right? There was 2 seconds left in that round. You can't do that. You can't. And that's the same ref that missed the eye poke before. AG35 says, fights to make are Dustin versus McGregor, Diaz 3, which Tony. Very lucky. Then Gaethje versus Khabib. I don't think so. I think the fight you're looking at right now is because, again, the thing that people aren't forgetting is that it's Ramadan. So once Ramadan's over, Khabib can start camp, but you're talking he's not going to be ready till like September or November. And McGregor... Yeah, so you're looking at
256 or whatever.
Right. And so if you're McGregor, though, like Gaethje is a better... Gaethje seems like an easier win than Khabib if you're McGregor. So why not stop at Gaethje first? If Gaethje beats you, you can retire or have the Diaz rematch. But if you win, then you're riding into the Khabib fight with 2 wins.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you're fighting Gaethje and you won, that means you knocked him out, and it's going to be a highlight that plays forever.
Right.
Why would Gaethje fight McGregor, though? Because he wants to. Because he wants to make that payday. Like, McGregor is... Every fighter in MMA would fight McGregor except for Khabib. Just because it doesn't matter. Because the title doesn't matter. Like, the whole thing is now that he's an interim champ, he has the word champ next to his name in the ledger books, which means he's getting all that money. And Justin has been very transparent about how he's here to fucking fight for prizes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I see the McGregor fight, we all know is a money fight because apparently all of Ireland and everybody of Irish descent buys a fucking pay-per-view only when there's an Irish fighter on the fucking card.
AG35 says no he won't, or 34 says no he won't. The title means more to him than a McGregor fight. It doesn't, I don't think. I think he wants the money, but also he probably thinks he can beat McGregor, and a McGregor win is huge. But the other thing, and this is the reason nobody talks about, Gaethje and Khabib have the same manager. So I don't think they're going to fight right away unless they have to.
Well, and I think they do, but I mean, not right away. I mean, because again, you're saying September. I agree with you. I think 256 will probably be the next logical card to put that on. Which, you know how Dana loves to like round up anytime he can to a big card that ends in a 0. So
Well, but if you're Dana, you're gonna want McGregor to fight Gaethje anyways, because again, that's more skewed towards the promotion. But more importantly, that means when you roll into Khabib McGregor, which is going to be your biggest payday ever, one, you can do it right after the New Year, so it's a Q1 number, which they love to do. If you look at McGregor, his big money fights are in January or February, and then, or sometimes November. I mean, he fights all over. It's not fair to say that, I guess. But the main thing is that they want those fucking posters with 2 belts. They just want them. They will go with Gaethje Khabib because they get 2 belts on the poster. Man, if they can give, because that's what they'll do. 2 belts, man. Let's get those 2 belts. And the thing about the Diaz trilogy is that that's always there for McGregor. He will do that before he retires.
Yeah, I think so.
Mikey
you're right on
Tubuck
that.
says he did say in the post that Khabib is the only fight he wants. Well, yeah, everybody says that. But again, he wants to be rich. He's talked about how he's doing this for money. Listen, Google Gaethje talking about wanting to fight McGregor. Everything he says is because of the money involved.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that's why he could have held out for a couple more pro level fights before he got signed to the UFC, but he decided to go to that World Series of Fighting or whatever the fuck he was, just to get money from NBC because he was the draw over there. So, I mean, everybody has to make a living off of this shit. So, nobody's just doing it just for the titles, obviously. But a payday with McGregor would be huge as long as he has the belt. I mean, it makes it bigger and stuff like that. But, I mean, he's obviously doing it for money. He's doing it for prizes. He's doing it for pride, all that sort of stuff. So, he's not a dumb guy. He's very smart when it comes to who he should be fighting next. So, I mean, there's only 2
hold
fights
on.
that he can get.
AG35 says, your logic makes 0 sense. Why would you risk getting the title shot? He's going to make huge money fighting Khabib and thinks he can beat Khabib. So if he breaks Khabib, he can then fight McGregor after that and make even more money. Well, he wouldn't, so at any point that you can fight McGregor, you do. And to say that you're going to make more money, he wouldn't. He would make more money fighting McGregor than he would Khabib. Even with Khabib being the champion, even if it was the fight now. If you think that he would make more money fighting Khabib, you're just wrong. Look at all the gates that McGregor commands. The other thing, too, is that Conor might be on ice because Dana probably doesn't want to use Conor because he's not able to get a crowd, so he's getting no gates.
Right. That's a good point. And also, too, if you line it up where McGregor fights Gaethje for the interim title and then the winner then gets Khabib, it's still for a title. It makes more sense. Then it's will McGregor finally get a shot at Khabib again, or will Gaethje get his first shot at him? And it makes sense that way too. But again, you don't really want to line that up without getting a massive buy, and that would probably be something for like Madison Square Garden or something.
AGLA34 says, no, he would make more money fighting Khabib than Conor. You're right, he would make more money but he also risks more because you could still lose to Khabib. If you go into McGregor and you lose to McGregor, yeah, you don't get that title shot. For sure, that sucks, but your money's already set. If you go lose to Khabib, you don't because Khabib Gaethje does not make even probably 1/8 of the money anything with Conor does. Like, you're not making more money than Conor, and no fight makes more money than Conor Khabib right now. No matter how much the fans don't like it, because I don't like it. I like it in a couple more fights. I would love if Gaethje were a tune-up fight. I would like if there was a Diaz fight. But with McGregor, you have to get that win back from Khabib, or your legacy is super tainted. So if you want a tune-up fight, like Gaethje is exactly what McGregor would want. And here's the other thing that you're not taking into account. McGregor and Dana are friends. Who do you think McGregor's going to ask for? He's going to ask for Gaethje because it's an easier fight for him. And now that Gaethje's an interim title, it means that he can have a belt. And Conor McGregor with a belt, that's like how he loves to talk shit. I mean, go back and watch the way he fucking picked up Aldo's belt and mocked it in front of him.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, it adds more pride to his
Moonlight
tone
Burial
when
says,
he's
after
out there
watching
promoting.
Ngannou, John better stay away from heavyweight. Oh my God, that man's power is like Thanos' glove level.
No shit. Actually, that was crazy.
All right, man. I gotta say, here. I'm gonna publicly do this, Tom, and I don't do this often. I was completely wrong. And Francis Ngannou, I am so sorry for doubting you. Ngannou is one of my dudes. I've always liked the guy. But I don't know why, but this Rosenstruck I fell in love with because he fucked over him up like ridiculously. And then
he made him a new mouth.
But he called out Ngannou. Who the fuck calls out Ngannou? Like, even DC, who I think is like the GOAT. Like, Daniel Cormier is in the commentary booth being like, oh yeah, I wouldn't fight him, but he's real good.
Right.
Like he was talking about how he would take him to the ground earlier and shit, you know?
Yeah, he would have to wrestle Ngannou because you're not going to strike with a guy like that. I mean, that's the whole thing. He's 200 and almost 262 pounds or whatever.
Oh, check this out. We have a new
muscle.
guy called It's Your Boy Ray the Nipple, and then he says hello. That's his
hello.
screen name. It's your boy Ray the Nipple. Say hello to your boy Ray the Nipple, Tom.
Hello, is your boy Ray the Nipple.
Moonlight Burial says Connor is in talks with De La Hoya to box. Is that true, or is that just because I heard De La Hoya talking about that? But I can't imagine that's enough money to make McGregor care. And I do think he would beat De La Hoya. I think he would do it.
Well, he would, because De La Hoya is 40s or something like that, and he hasn't boxed in forever. So, but that's the thing. There's a problem with that because since Golden Boy Productions or whatever has gotten into the fucking MMA game, that now is a conflict of interest for McGregor because even if he's boxing, he now has to tell Dana, I'm not going to go fight for him on his promotion. I'm only going to go boxing for money, which it was one thing for Money Mayweather because
him up for some fucking cash.
Yeah, like it's one thing with Money Mayweather because there's nothing that money's going to that Mayweather is going to get out of that outside of just a payday for the both of them, and that Dana's going to get his cut. But going to Golden Boy is not going to result in anything because now it's just going to be a headache for Dana to okay it because where the loyalty lies with McGregor then, because if he's going to possibly get more money for doing some bullshit fights for De La Hoya, he might just do that.
Yeah.
So I don't see that happening.
It's your boy Ray the Nipple says Connor and Dustin should fight. I don't know. So here's the thing. I'm not opposed to that. I don't necessarily hate that. I just don't think that will ever happen. If you're McGregor, you already beat Dustin. There's zero incentive to fight him again. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's no, because I mean, every single way that this could play out could be disaster for you.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not something that the fans are clamoring for. I mean, it makes sense on paper based off of like how the rankings line up, but it's not something that I want to see. I'm sure it's probably something you don't want to see, but it's just not something that I think that really excites anybody. And there's like 4 names right now that you want to see, and that's, Ferguson's probably still in there just to see if he can come back. So I would say if you're going to throw Dustin into anything, it's going to be against Tony. And then, Khabib is still there. So again, you line up probably Connor and Gaethje, and then the winner there goes to fight Khabib. I mean, that's really where it all kind of lies right now.
Moonlight Burial says, if we're talking boxing, I'd rather see Canelo versus Masvidal. I would watch that.
Oh, yeah. I would watch that. That would be fucking good.
I would watch the shit out of that. I want to see, you know what I want to see? I want to see Gaethje versus GGG.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, just get them in the middle and just have them hit each other with hooks. Just hook till somebody's dead, boys. And also, if I'm McGregor, and you're not getting me in the boxing ring again unless it's a Mayweather rematch or Pacquiao. That's it. Those are the only 2 guys. Because nobody else, beating De La Hoya at this point does nothing for your legacy. Nothing. Because no matter what happens, they'll be like, oh, you're supposed to lose. So if you lose, it's no big deal. If you win, he's old and he was retired, so you're supposed to win.
Or like a Canelo if he's still champion. I mean, that would be the thing. Is like, even if you lose to a sitting champion and stuff like that, even if it's not for the title or whatever, it still provides you he at least stepped out of his boundaries and shit like that, Yeah. So I don't know, man. This is an interesting card, though.
Yeah, what do you think's next? Here, let's go over the card real quick. I know I called you impromptu, but fucking whatever.
You want to start from the prelims and go to the main event, or you want?
I'll bring it up, and we can start at the. So the first thing we should start at is the fact that Souza was out because of the coronavirus thing. So what's the over-under that a bunch of these people got coronavirus over this whole ordeal? AJ Lee 34 keeps saying the card didn't live up to the hype. I disagree. I think it absolutely did. I think it was great. All right, so here's the thing. We got to start first with talking about how they just pulled Souza off, and then they shifted up, right? So there was an early prelim that had 2 fights. Like, what the fuck is that all about?
Right.
And the Avery fight was, that was okay. That was a terrible, terrible. I didn't like either of the. Well, I don't know. I guess
The span Alvey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That decision's trash. The Rosa fight, I didn't really watch all of that one. I watched it, but I was like dazing in and out. Let's start from the prelims.
Right.
I just decided I don't care about those.
Okay.
So yeah, we've got Souza, Uriah canceled, right? And then we have Luque and Price, which like Jesus Christ, Luque, that dude, like I'm pretty sure a bullet wouldn't stop that dude. That was fucking insane.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts. So like I said, unfortunately, I saw the whole damn thing until the very end with the TKO or the doctor stoppage, if you will. But yeah, that was insane all the way through because I really thought that Nico Price was going to be able to probably pull that off, just based off of his strikes in comparison. But I mean, Luque just fucking brought the house. I mean, it was a good fight. I just really wish I would have been able to see the end of it, and then it didn't go to doctor stoppage. That would have been fucking nice to see. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of doctor stoppage, but like when you see the fighter who's injured clapping as well, and like we all know that like Nico Price is no pussy, right?
Right.
Like so, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, we got Cookie Monster with a decision win over Watterson. I think that was low key the worst fight on the card.
Yeah, because I mean, Watterson was doing a lot of that gauging stuff as far as the karate stuff,
right?
Gauging where you can strike and everything like that. It was pretty boring. I didn't think one of the judges gave it 30-27 to Cookie Monster, which I don't see how the hell that happened. Because I legitimately thought if you're going to give it to anybody, a split decision was probably going to go to Watterson. Myself.
Yeah, I thought Watterson won that fight.
Yeah, I mean, because there was a 30-27, 27-30, 29-28 for Cookie Monster, which I thought it would be all around 29-28 between the two, but
Moonlight Burial brought up a good point. Watterson wouldn't open up. That's absolutely fair criticism. It's like she's that the thing about Watterson that's troublesome now is that's like the third or fourth fight she's had where even in victory it just didn't seem like she was opening up. She lost this one, but I thought she won it. But the same thing, she just doesn't seem like when it's time to switch into that like killer gear, it's like it's not there for her. And in that weight class, you just can't be like that because you're not going to win.
Right. That's a very good point. And I mean, I don't know. It seemed like it was kind of like.
Don't forget to go to Venmo and donate to Corey Adam Comedy or PayPal at CoreyAdam@gmail.com. All right, what were you saying, Tom?
No, I was just gonna say it felt kind of like the women's fight on this card was kind of thrown in there. It didn't look like it was a good fit between the two as far as fight styles and stuff because Watterson will try to keep her distance and stuff like that, and Carla will generally try and get in and then try and take somebody down. So I don't think it was a good fight style matchup. But again, I don't think Carla won it. I think it should have gone to Watterson myself. But again,
Geely34 says to the hype. The only reason it didn't live up to the hype is because we got robbed in the Cejudo fight, and the Nagano fight didn't even last 30 seconds. So I do think we got robbed in the Cejudo fight, but if we're honest, that fight was kind of flying under the radar anyways. Nobody was really even talking about that fight. I forgot that fight was even on that card.
Right.
It was just kind of buried. And I mean, it was a great fight that I was very much looking forward to and enjoyed up until the terrible stoppage, but it was fine. And then
the
Nagano fight, I mean, here's the thing, and I definitely see the idea that a 30-second Nagano victory is not living up to the hype, but I'm going to disagree with you. I think that is the hype. That's like saying when Mike Tyson was knocking motherfuckers out in 30 seconds, it wasn't living up to the hype. I don't know what hype you expected because the hype we got is the fact that Nagano is still maybe the most powerful puncher that's ever competed in the UFC, and that's saying a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you on that one because I was just going to say, I mean, this is the guy who grew up idolizing Mike Tyson, and he did Mike Tyson shit tonight. I mean, that's really what he did. He came across that ring, and he punched the fucking dude in the mouth. And honestly, whatever the hell his name was, I can't remember who he's fucking fighting.
Rosenstruck?
Rosenstruck. Yeah, Rosenstruck. I mean, he avoided like 4 punches that would have probably knocked out. Biggie Boy, like he avoided 3 punches before one finally landed, and that was the one that knocked him out. And then Francis still got fucking 3 other ones as he was falling against the cage and shit like that before
right. Well, and then
the
other thing, the other most important part about all of it is just like the fucking Nagano knocked him out, and they were glancing blows. Like I keep like, this is the thing about Ngannou is that if that dude can figure out how to sprawl and deny the ground game, like people forget he's only really been studying MMA for 4 or 5 years, but he has fucking thunder dynamite for hands. I mean, it's like it's getting to the point where if you're going to book a fight against Ngannou, it's almost you have to give the other opponent a hammer to make it fair.
Yeah, that's true. I think also too, like, you know, the guy he was fighting, he called out Ngannou because he wants to make a name for himself, which is fine. But also too, he beat Alistair Overeem at the very end of that fight, and he was taking shots from Overeem too. So I don't know how he just that's the difference between where Ngannou's at with his strike force and where Overeem is with his. And Overeem's a world-class kickboxer and everything like that. He's knocked guys out in the past too. But, I mean, if Overeem doesn't rock you to the point where you can go fucking, 5 rounds or something like that? Like, it was at least the end of 3 rounds, and then knock him out at the very end, and then a glancing blow from Ngannou sends you against the cage and knocks you out. I mean, that's unheard of, and that's crazy to me. But
yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Twitch Hutchinson 19 says Tony Ferguson had a poor performance. I don't know that that's the case. I'm not going to say that. I think that if you say he had a poor performance, it cheapens what a just masterstroke transcendent fight that Justin Gaethje had. And Justin Gaethje especially, this is a guy that we knew he could get hit. He was durable. His gas tank was never really in question, and he just had the power. But what he did is he played Tony Ferguson against his own movements. He trapped him at every point, and then he just counterpunched the fuck out of him. And I don't think it was a bad Tony Ferguson performance. If you look at the body language of the first 2 rounds, Tony was doing exactly what he was. The difference is everyone else he's ever fought in round 3 of that kind of attrition melts. But Gaethje's not going anywhere because he hates it, and he's there to hate it and make money.
yeah, and also too because Gaethje doesn't have, he's not wearing out after 2 rounds like some of the other guys that Ferguson has fought. So, I mean, Ferguson was trying to do his normal thing, which is wear out a guy 3rd round, come in and try and punish him because he's fit like that. But I mean, Gaethje's been doing this. I mean, you heard him in the post fight saying, "I've been doing this since I was 4." I mean, shit, he knows what he can do, where his gas level is at, and Tony's not going to be able to just wait till round 3 to try and get a knockout or something like that. I mean, it just wasn't going to happen. He just did what he was supposed to do in his game plan, and it just didn't work.
Midnight Burial says Nunes pulling out versus Spence and Hall versus Souza would have been a barn burner. Yeah, you would have had a prelim with more than 2 fights for sure. That would have been rad.
Yeah.
Where's the?
It sounds like we're gonna get that Nunes Spence fight. I think they're saying 250 whenever that's gonna fucking happen. Because they got the 2 other cards this week still. So there's the midweek one on Wednesday, and then there's one next week as well. So it's just not a UFC.
It's your boy Ray the Nipple says, are we not going to talk about how Pettis didn't deserve his win and lose? We'll get there. We're still on the preliminary. We're going to move right up to Alexei Olenek versus Verdum, and holy shit, dude, battle of the dad bods much?
Holy shit. Yeah, that's a good way of phrasing this one.
Like, I know they used to use it as a joke against DC, but literally that was the dadliest man on the planet.
Yeah, they
and good for Olenek. I've always loved that guy. I was just mad that he didn't get an Ezekiel choke. And for him to, 1, not tap out on a locked-in armbar, and 2, to be able to roll off and get out of Verdum on top, you don't see that very often. Verdum is transcending when it comes to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, and actually Olenek a couple times slipped out the back too, which is good for him to because I didn't think he was going to be able to be on the ground and then get out of it, and he did every fucking time. So that was just, I think that was a good showing from him. Split decision makes sense for that one. I mean, it wasn't overwhelming in either way. Verdum didn't really do much for the win. So, I mean, Olenek at least came out there and was prepared to go to the ground, it looked like, and then also he was willing to throw more strikes, and I think that's what you saw as far as the decision. It was just, I think that was the best split decision they had. I think that was the closest decision and the best one they had.
AG34 says that fight was a draw. I mean, I could see a draw on that one. I'd be okay with that, but I do think Olenek won, but not by much.
Yeah.
He also says Tony's problem was that he had been preparing for a grappler since November. Then he ends up fighting one of the best strikers in the world. But yeah, but that's also, I mean, Gaethje can grapple. It's not like,
yeah.
I hate that argument. I mean, I get it. Like, that's what they were prepping. But guess what? Gaethje accepted a fight on like less than a week's notice the first time around. Gaethje wasn't preparing for anybody. So you can't say that this was a big disadvantage for Tony and not acknowledge that it was also a big disadvantage for fucking Gaethje. Tony was training for a grappler. Gaethje was training for nobody. He was just training.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you're going to see that though too. I mean, anytime you're training for one way, and yeah, he can say what he wants since November, but the reality is when you have fights that are pulled off from November or whenever, you have to start just training for whoever might be next because you aren't guaranteed to get those fights.
Be ready at any time. That's what Cerrone is the king of that, right? Like, be ready at any time. And Gaethje's like that. Like, there's just some dudes are game, And I will say this. So we'll move into our Pettis-Cerrone fight. I don't know if you could say that Pettis didn't deserve to win that. I mean, you look at the count of the cards, and, like, Cerrone did outstrike him. Like, he landed more. But not by much. I mean, total strikes landed. Pettis did edge him in 81. It was 81 to 62, but significant strikes, it was 63 to 62. So Pettis won there. But the main thing is that with Cerrone, you had 2 takedowns that he didn't do anything with. And that's got to be accounted for at some point too.
Yeah, and that's weird for him not to do anything with those, because if he gets a guy to the ground, I mean, he's not necessarily going to try and choke anymore, but I mean, he still has strikes if he can get it from above, and I just think that he didn't do enough with what he had to make it a clear decision in his camp. There's no way it should have been a unanimous decision, though. I mean, I know it was close on all the scorecards, 29 to 20 and all across the board, but there's no way that should have been unanimous, though. I mean, Pettis did not show enough either to garnish the fact that he should have been the winner on all 3 of those cards. There's just no way.
I agree with all that. All right. We're going to move on to the main card. Greg Hardy wins a decision. I do think he won that fight. I still hate him. Who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it pisses me off because, like, they're at this point where they keep feeding him. Like, I mean, De Castro was literally just feeding him. That's an 8-0 guy. Like, they're just feeding him a guy,
Right. And also, too, I don't know, again, where these judges are fucking getting their scores, but there's no way that he won all 3 of those rounds.
None.
De Castro definitely won the first round in my book. Again, I mentioned earlier when we got on together that you look at his knee, you look at Hardy's knee, and it was so red. There's no way you can give him that first round. I don't care how many strikes he landed. The fact was, the guy could barely fucking walk to his corner afterwards without fucking limping. So you look at that.
Flaming Delta 11 says, I'm glad Ngannou sent Rosenstruck to a funeral home. And I'm glad the Thug Nasty won.
Right. No, but just, real quick with that Hardy one. All judges 30 to 27. They got to get their fucking eyes adjusted then, because that's fucking ridiculous.
It really looks bad for the sport when these decisions are so fucking terrible, and they don't even, like, some of these scores really legitimately look like they're not watching the fights.
Yep.
It's
very true.
And they're like, I don't know if this is the right stance, but it's how I feel. I feel like when you're not letting the crowd in there and everything's controlled more, I'm going to forgive you less for having judges that are super incompetent. Like, if you want to tell me that in a full arena, a judge got distracted, they didn't see a couple of things, and they missed something, like, all right, I get it. You know what I mean? But you're in a quiet fucking arena, probably sitting 6 feet away from people in a face mask.
Exactly.
Also, it's really interesting how I'm already used to the UFC without a crowd. Like, I thought that it was super weird and awkward, the one they did a while ago, I think in Brazil. And then
that one was
weird.
Weird.
This one just felt fine because you knew what it was, and I think we were all so hungry for any sport that it just didn't matter. I'm still the maddest that this wasn't Khabib and Ferguson because I wanted to hear Khabib talk shit when he was on top.
That would have been fun.
AG35 says Rosenstruck started out well with an inside leg kick and then tried to trade with Ngannou, moved his head back, and one thing you cannot do versus Ngannou. Yeah, the thing about Ngannou that keeps surprising me, and I feel bad because I feel like you ever see the show House, Tom?
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel like the doctors in House, where they always say House doesn't know what he's talking about, and they ends up knowing what he's talking about. Like, that's how I feel with fucking Ngannou. Like, I understand that he's maybe the most powerful heavyweight that's ever lived, not named Brock Lesnar. But, like, it just doesn't compute. And then you just see this. I mean, these were, if you go back and watch that replay, the thing that started the whole down thing, it was a glancing blow. He's running forward with his chin wide up. He just, nobody can stand with him, so it just doesn't fucking matter. It reminds me of, like, really vintage Dan Henderson or even Chuck Liddell when they knew that that right hand was there and they would just walk forward behind that jab and just crush you.
Yeah, when thunder comes down from above like that, I mean, just God forbid. I mean, yeah, it's glancing blow. I don't know. It's a weird analyzation of that fight to say that he started well with an inside leg kick. I mean, okay, good. I mean,
think that's more of a
people
joke
can
than
land.
an analysis. I mean, that is literally the only thing he did well over
so.
that whole thing. Yeah, right? Here's
But,
hoping, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing too. Like when Rosenstruck put his head back, he actually ended up missing 3 shots or 4 shots or something like that. But then, yeah, the glancing blow was enough to just rattle his head, and then he went straight back to the cage. I mean, that was the end of it. But yeah, you can't put your chin up like that. I mean, he should have been ducking down. But if he ducked down, he would have been actually taking a couple to the temple or to the front of his head or forehead and stuff. So I mean, it would have been more disastrous to keep his head down. But either way, he was losing that fucking fight within 30 seconds, and lo and behold, he lost the fight within 30 seconds.
AG Lee 34 says Jones beats Ngannou if he moves up, though. The ground game is too advanced. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously, we all know that's the weakness. But also, shout out to Rosenstruck for calling out Ngannou. He called him out.
Yeah, he was willing to take a beating.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you got to make a name for yourself, and especially in the heavyweights, because it gets stacked very heavy up on top with the heavyweights, because Stipe can't fight right now. DC is still there. Well, I guess they're going to just give Greg Hardy whatever the fuck he wants there, but you still got Rockwell.
At some point they're just going to give him the belt.
Yeah, I mean,
you didn't beat anybody, but you also didn't beat a woman. Have a belt.
Yeah, but here's the thing too. Like, yeah, Jones would beat Ngannou on the ground. I don't think he's strong enough to get Ngannou on the ground, because Ngannou, we haven't really seen him, defend takedowns or anything like that. But Jones might have some leverage on him, but Ngannou's just as tall.
I don't know.
As Jones.
Stipe threw him around like a rag doll.
Jones or Ngannou?
Ngannou.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like if Stipe can do that to him, so can Jones.
Maybe, but I mean, Stipe is still bigger.
Yeah, I mean he's also in the conversation of GOAT too. It's not like Stipe's a slouch.
True, but I'm just saying, Stipe holds the weight, or has the weight advantage in that one. I mean, I don't care if Jones puts on 20 pounds and fights at 225 or whatever, because he's not going to get up to the weight that Ngannou's carrying and stuff. And I just don't think he has the ability to leverage a guy that. I mean, that's the whole thing. Everybody knows that DC came in probably just at the weight and then fucking gained it all back in the night or whatever. But I mean, a guy cutting weight, and that's the thing. DC's walking around weight is probably like around 240.
Oh, more than that.
So he's already in the heavyweight. Yeah. So, I mean, because he looked pretty big on camera tonight too. But that's to say something. But I just don't know. I don't know if Jones can. I don't know if he can take a punch from Ngannou that's not going to just rattle his fucking head and make him look fucking foolish.
And we may never know, because he dodged Rumble. Like, not intentionally. He went to jail, but I mean, he dodged the other prolific fighter. And you look at, he looked very vulnerable against Reyes. He looked very vulnerable against Thiago Santos. Like that.
Well, even that, he looked pretty bad against Chael at one point too. I mean, that was the thing. Like,
that's true. I
mean, I don't know. I mean, Jones is going to go down as one of the greatest of all times in the sport. He's already in that conversation. There's no doubt about that. Hold on. There we go. Yeah.
I know you can't hear it, but I just really needed to hit the boo sound effects on that.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, you're not right. You're not wrong. He will go down as one of the best, which sucks.
Right.
Excuse me, bitch.
Especially with all the problems he had, that has
right. The only person that really beat Jones was Jones. Really good fights.
Yeah, exactly. Like
his only loss is a DQ from a fucking illegal elbow in a fight where he was owning the dude.
Yeah. Exactly. And The one thing is, with his legal issues, this again points out the fact that you should never fucking get a tattoo of a Bible verse on your body when you're gonna have fucking problems with cocaine and drunken driving and all
What
this
if the
other
Bible
shit.
verse was about cocaine and drunken driving, though?
Well, one, I'd be very surprised if there's a Bible verse about that, but I mean,
It's in the Book of Mormon.
yeah, thou shalt not drive your carriage drunkard or whatever. However, fucking Joseph Smith wanted to fucking line that up. Whatever, that's a whole nother topic. I'm just saying, like, Jones literally, for anybody who's still a fan of John
beats,
Jones.
he goes, nah, Jones trains with people bigger than Ngannou, and then he says Reyes beat Jones, but Jones will beat him in a rematch.
Okay,
yeah,
hold on. Who's bigger than Ngannou? I mean, honestly, the guy's at the top of the weight class as it is, and I mean, unless Jones is literally training with 300-pound muscle sacks.
Well, but yeah, just
I mean,
because he's training. Well, the other thing too is that Ngannou's power is transcending. Just because he's
right.
training with people that big does not mean he is training with people with that much power.
Exactly. I mean, like, Ngannou is almost literally, he's almost all muscle. That's the whole thing. Like, you saw his physique tonight. That's a fucking impressive physique. I mean, to carry around 262 was whatever he weighed in at, so just underneath the 265 limit, and he looked that fucking fit. I mean, that's the crazy thing. Like, that guy looked like he was stacked upon stacked of muscle. So even if Jones is going in and he's rolling with guys who are bigger than Ngannou weight wise, if you're just rolling with him, that's one thing. But because a lot of guys aren't going to be allowed to strike against the greatest of all time because you don't want an injury in training and shit like that. So, I mean, for Jones to say that he can take a fucking punch from Ngannou without actually fucking seeing it, that's my question: is how do you have Jones go in there and not lose his fucking mind after that first fucking punch that lands on his chin or to his temple? I think he floats to the ground at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a moot point because I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see Jones moving up, and I know he said he's going to, and I know the rumors are that he's going to. I just don't see it. I think that Jones doesn't want any part of Stipe. I think Jones would have moved up if DC was the belt. I think what would happen is that if DC wins the rematch with Stipe, Jones would move up and challenge for the belt, and then that would be Jones's like intro, and that would be Cormier's last fight. But Cormier might not even take that fight. Why would he have to?
Well, even that though, Cormier doesn't have to cut weight, so then there's no like. Then he prepares at his given weight or his walk around weight or whatever, just making sure he doesn't get outside of that 265 limit and stuff.
Well, and I mean,
Jones
the only
needs a
two
lot
people
to
ever
go
to
up.
knock him out were Jones, who was on steroids, and then Stipe.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. Again, Jones, he's looking towards the top of that class, and he's not looking.
I don't think he is, though. You know what I think Jones is doing legitimately? I think he's looking at the top of the light heavyweight class and being like, nah. Because if you're a guy that can go in between those two, right now the light heavyweight is way more stacked in the top 10 position than heavyweight.
True. I mean, because really outside of
Plus, I also think
and a couple other
Stylebender
guys
going up to fight him at lightweight. If you stay at lightweight and you keep talking shit about Stylebender, eventually he'll move up. And like with Jones, you're in a great position where you fight Reyes, you probably beat him in the rematch because you can game plan for him. If the cards play out right, Anthony Smith has an impressive victory over Grover Teixeira, and then you can justify fighting him again.
Yeah, which, I mean, Smith went in there that first match against Jones, and you and I were watching together, and Smith just had his game plan was way off as far as how to go against Jones.
He was fighting his idol. You know, that's hard.
That is hard.
It's even Stylebender. When Stylebender was fighting Anderson Silva, there was a very slow start to that because there has to be this weird mythical thing that goes into that. You know, like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
This is the guy I watched when I was a kid dreaming of doing this, and now fucking holy shit, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. It was definitely – it definitely will be something come Wednesday evening after that main event with Smith and Glover Teixeira, though.
We skipped over the Jeremy Stevens and Calvin Kattar fight.
We skipped over a couple things, to be honest with you. We haven't really touched. I mean, that Cejudo one, I guess we could talk about his retirement.
We're not
but
there.
Yeah,
we're going up. Like we went from Hardy and we skipped over that one to go up. So
right, Calvin Kattar though, holy shit, man, that cut he left above Stevens.
Oh yeah, that gash was
eye.
crazy. Well, the other thing too that I think is really more impressive is Kattar. Like, I think he probably beats Mad Mags if like Zabist, if he literally that was a 5-round fight, which it originally was supposed to be, because that dude
Right.
like Zabit was literally like coasting at the end of round 3, and Cater was coming on. If that's a 5-round fight in Boston where he's from, like it was supposed to be, and not a 3-round fight in Russia, I feel like he would have won, or Saudi Arabia, or wherever it was. But the thing about it is that Jeremy missed weight by a bunch. He was 5 pounds heavy. I mean, if that's boxing, that's another weight class.
Yeah, I mean, Cater was 146 or whatever they said too. So, I mean, they give you that 1 pound grace or whatever. So, I mean, they're saying that Stevens was 4 pounds over, or whatever, 4.5. But
5 is what I heard. But just to go out there and beat up, especially like not just somebody, but I mean, Stevens is a power hitter. To go out there and fight a power hitter that you're giving up 5 pounds to, I mean, that's crazy. That's awesome.
yeah, he did make that one look almost too easy and stuff. So I want to see his next fight to kind of give it a better gauge and stuff. But I mean, he really took it to Stevens on that one. So I mean, and that was a legit knockout though too. I mean, that was actually, if that doesn't actually get knockout of the night, I don't know what really does, because Ngannou did obviously get it, a good knockout, but I think Cater had the best knockout of the night. I mean, bar none in my
I don't
book.
think so. I think Ngannou had clearly the best knockout of the night.
I don't know, man. I think it's
like to go in there against a guy that was 10-0 and just murking motherfuckers, and not only knock him out, but knock him out quick and easy. And I don't like, aside from that leg, where's this? Here, hold on. I'm looking at the stats on this one because I want to see. Yeah, so. Oh, that's kind of crazy. So Rosenstruck threw 5 strikes and landed all 5.
Yeah, but they weren't.
Ngannou threw 13 and landed 6. Like, he knocked out what is going to be, and I don't think this is it for Rosenstruck. I think that this is a great moment where he will probably learn from this and recuperate, like Ngannou did years ago. But to go out there and just straight up murk a motherfucker with 30 seconds, it's like when McGregor fought Cowboy. We all knew what he had to do. We knew what the goal was, but it's still impressive for what it was. And I mean, I actually thought Rosenstruck was going to win it just because he called him out. He had all this background thing, and then he fucking knocks him out. And all I could think to myself is I should never, ever discount Ngannou ever again.
Right. Did you bet against Ngannou, or did you not wager on
I did not. I only placed 2 bets on this fight card. I bet it all on Cruz, and I bet it all on Gaethje.
So 50-50 then?
Yep, it was 50-50, but I think I ended up losing like $20 on one of them because of the fucking the ratio or whatever.
Okay.
The odds or whatever.
Well, that's not bad. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, but I think I want to see more of Cater though, just to see where he goes before I place him in any kind of future matchups. But I don't know, if he goes down a weight class and stuff like that, it kind of opens up some stuff after Cejudo fucking retired tonight.
Yeah, okay, let's move into that. So you got Cruz and Cejudo. So first and foremost, I think that was a fucking terrible, terrible stoppage.
Oh shit! One of the worst we've seen. That is,
I think one of the worst I've seen. And here's the thing that I think makes this one so worse to me is that if the ref
it wasn't Herb Dean.
Yeah, well, I mean that sucked too. Yeah, dude, and Herb Dean, I still think that might have been a little early, but like that's fine. I mean, I don't know. Herb Dean is fine. The fix was in, whatever. But like,
right.
The thing about this guy is this is the same guy that fucked up the eye poke with Pettis and Cowboy, right?
Yep.
But then he turns around and he fucks this up. Like if he had stepped in to stop the fight when Cruz went limp on his face, I would have been okay with that. But he's rolling over. He's literally getting up with 2 seconds left in the round. Even if he's stunned, and I will argue this till I'm fucking dead. You have to let them go out on the shield when there's fucking 10 seconds left. Make him prove it. Make somebody send him to the fucking nightmare realm.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, that was the thing. Even when he was getting hit, he never went flat. He never looked like he was going limp. So, and then he was making progress. So I don't know how
he got hit in the head with a great knee. Nobody's gonna take that away from Henry. That was a great knee. He goes down, and then it's like I don't legitimately know how you're supposed to get up in MMA, and I really feel for guys like Cruz because he's an old school guy. Like when he started his career, that never would have been stopped like that ever.
No, I mean, if he told the referee, "You let me die in here,"
Yeah.
that's what
Well,
would
I
happen.
mean,
And stuff,
and in
'cause that's what he
Pride,
started.
well, but see, I don't care about that. That I thought was kind of shitty of him to say because the
Right.
ref is in there for your safety. The ref doesn't give a fuck what you want. That's not what the ref is there to do.
Yep.
You know, the ref is there
Agreed.
to have your best interest in mind, even when you don't know it.
That is true. I mean, I think it was just a weird stoppage for the second round. It's just a weird way for, I don't know. I think this retirement won't be permanent. I think Henry just wants to take some time off to get married.
I think like getting married, starting a family, stepping away at 33, he could come back. But here's the thing, he also doesn't have to. Like,
yeah, he doesn't have to.
He beat Mighty Mouse. He now beat Cruz. He defended his belt in both weight classes.
Yep.
So unlike most champs, he doesn't have the asterisk of didn't defend his belt.
Yep.
But what's really interesting is that, and here's the other thing about all that, right? Is that comes off the heels of a very interesting, because AGLE34 says, what happens to bantamweight now, right? Well, I'll tell you what happens to bantamweight now. Henry Cejudo's leaving, so it is officially Peter Yan time. And I think everybody knew it was Peter Yan time. And if you're Henry Cejudo, you dip out right now and never fight Peter Yan if you don't have to.
Yep.
Peter Yan is made out of, I mean, that dude like almost killed Uriah Faber. And no matter who they put in, like that is Peter Yan's belt and everybody's just parking on it. Like he is going to be the next champ at that weight class.
Yep, I would agree with that.
Because you look at the top, I'm looking at the weight classes right now, and you look at them, and it's like you got Marlon Moraes, you got Aljamain Sterling, and you have Peter Yan underneath him, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of those guys walk through fucking Peter Yan walks through all those guys. Every single one.
Well, that's why I also think it's interesting the timing of Cejudo retiring because now he doesn't have to fucking worry about some of these guys.
Right. I mean, the thing about Cejudo is that no matter what you think about Cejudo, he's been very smart about his career. And that's what he wanted Aldo. That's why he was calling Aldo out. Because he wanted that, like, career on... And I think he fucked up. I think the move would be to call out Aldo after this fight. So you beat Cruz, right? Now you call out Aldo, then you retire. You get one more payday against an old dude that you know you can beat.
Yep, and that people want to just see because Aldo still has the name.
Right, Aldo has the name, and Henry's, you get more time in the limelight to talk shit and all that stuff. But then the end result is that then when you go to retire, if this is it, you have two GOATs on your mantle, or three, I guess.
Yep, I would agree with that. I think it's going to be interesting, and I think you're right. I think Peter Yan is the man going forward. I just don't know who can come back from the previous ranks, if you will. Like a Dillashaw, I don't care. Like, he doesn't need to come back. I think Cruz has a legitimate gripe about this one, about how it ended and stuff, and I think he's
totally right. Yeah, and then the real question that I have is, what are they going to do with flyweight? Are they just going to get rid of it? Because they don't even have a champion right now.
Well, bring up that page again with the flyweights and stuff like that, because I always thought flyweight was such a weird weight for men to be fighting at. Anyways, I mean, I understand you do have fighters at that weight or who can make that weight.
They got Cejudo ranked third, pound for pound. That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But so all right, here's this page up again.
Yeah. See. Wow. See that? Yeah. The pounds for pound for pound. I don't know.
Like here's the reality that's sad, right? You see all these guys. None of them deserve to be champion.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe Benavidez, but he had his chance and lost. Brandon Moreno,
I think,
but like nobody here is transcending or being like a next guy up. Whereas again, you look at bantamweight, I could see a world where Moraes is champion, or Sterling, or Yan, or Sandhagen. All of these worlds don't include Peter Yan. I don't see anybody beating Peter Yan ever. Like that guy is gonna go on a run tear. And I think Cejudo knows it. I think that's why he was calling out Aldo. That's why he agreed to Cruz, because he wanted to get one more defense of that belt right into the sunset and never have to fight Peter Yan. And he was an Olympic gold medal, so he knows what it's like to go out on top.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet no lie. I bet Daniel Cormier wishes he would have retired than rematch Stipe. I bet he does.
Probably. I mean, he had briefly mentioned it, I think, in the post-fight or even the press conference or something like that. He had mentioned, like, maybe taking some time away. But I think he wishes he probably would have retired at that point. Because he didn't have nothing to prove at that point. I mean, you're already the heavyweight champion. You were the light heavyweight champion. So you have nothing to prove at that point. But, I mean, pride will do a lot of things to a lot of different guys and stuff. So, but I think you're right. That featherweight, the flyweight, excuse me, I don't think it shouldn't exist unless you're just gonna fucking do a tournament. But UFC hates fucking doing tournaments and shit like that because then it goes for so fucking long.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not, I don't know. I could see that tournament, but I mean, I don't know. How long did you have Mighty Mouse? Nobody gives a fuck about that weight class. We never have. Like, the reality, it's one of the reasons why I always hated Mighty Mouse. Nobody gives a shit about that weight class. If he was a real champion, he would have gone up to bantamweight and fought Cruz. But he didn't want to lose.
Well, I was even thinking that, like, through these fights tonight, too, like, with all the ones of these weight classes that I used to just not give a shit about when it was mostly, like, UFC was,
They're
what,
all
like 155
popping
and
now.
up.
Like, aside from that weird-ass, like, non-champion featherweight, everyone's a banger. I mean, you look at...
Flyweight.
Is that what I said, or no?
Featherweight.
Oh,
it's
flyweight.
simple
flyweight.
to say again.
Yeah. But so, like, you know, you got, like, you look at these... I'm back on this screen here. But you look at these, like, again, the top 5 are pretty, like, it's still pretty weak in bantamweight. But when you get up outside of that, I mean, you look at featherweight, I mean, you're down to 6, 7, and we're at Jeremy Stevens, who's still a killer. Josh Emmett, maybe not, but Cater is clearly a killer. I mean, you're going down 10 or 11 spots. And these are the weakest divisions in MMA right now. You know, you look at lightweight. I mean, is there anything more stacked than fucking lightweight right now? It's crazy. You got Ferguson, you got Poirier, you got Connor, you got Gaethje, you got Hooker, you got fucking Cerrone, Felder, Quinta, Kevin Lee. I mean, these are all fucking names. You have to go down. You have to go down to fucking 12 when you get to, like, Ferreira, where, like, that's a name people might not have heard of.
Right, and the one thing I always think too is like lightweight. It seems to be like is one of the lightest weight classes that you actually have legitimate knockout power. It seems like lower than that. I mean, obviously,
if your name isn't Stevens or Dotson, that's absolutely true.
Yeah, but like flyweight never has had fucking knockout power ever because I just don't think you can get enough behind a 115 fucking pound strike or whatever to fucking do damage to anybody. I'm sorry, like I know it sounds sizist or whatever, but like the fucking reality is like no one gets knocked out. No one gets knocked out by a 115 fucking pound dude. Like not even another 115 pound dude because Mighty Mouse is fucking like he proved like it's a kind of a boring waste of time for a lot of those guys. And I'm sorry, like it would be more interesting if they got better at striking and bulked up and just went up the weight class. I'm sorry, like it's just a boring weight class.
Yeah.
Because they don't even fucking hit submissions very well because they just don't have the fucking strength behind it. Because I swear to God, it's almost impossible for a man to stay at that fucking weight. Even to cut down to that weight is fucking damn near impossible. So why the fuck would you ever do it? Because you just can't keep your strength up through a weight cut at that level. And this is coming from a guy who's damn near 300 pounds that's trying to get down to a heavyweight fucking physique, if you will. So.
Right. And then you look at like light heavyweight where fucking Jones is resting, and it's like you got 8 up from Glover Teixeira as just all world beaters. You still have Johnny Walker on the slide down who could go back up, but I mean you got Gustafsson still hanging around, Ozdemir, Anderson, Blachowicz, like Smith, Santos, Reyes, like those are all killers, you know. Middleweight, same kind of thing. You got fucking all the way down to I guess Uriah Hall, but I don't really care about Uriah Hall, but let's say we did.
Yeah. Right.
You know, you got Brunson, you got Gastelum, you got Hermanson, you got Till, Romero, Cannonier, Costa, Whitaker, Adesanya. You know, and then again, then you got welterweight, which again, it's just these a lot of these weight classes. I mean, You got to fucking, in welterweight right now, you got to go down to 12 before you see a name you haven't heard of. And then you still have people like Luque's going up after this. Conor McGregor's still ranked 14th. Pettis is still ranked 15th, even after tonight.
Yeah.
You know, but you got,
well,
like,
I mean, the
you
new
go
rankings
up,
will
you
come out
got
on Monday.
Lawler, you got Diaz, you got Dos Anjos, you got Chiesa, you got Maya, Burns, Thompson, Edwards, Masvidal, Covington, Woodley. I mean, that one's wide open.
Yeah. And that would be fun to see, like, something like that where you start, looking at who those matchups could be. I think that would be a lot of fun to see that play out and stuff, like actually set up some decent matchups to get a new number one contender or, like, change the rankings up, like, let's see some of those fights. I'd love to see some of those fights.
Sure. All right. And then, so you're not happy with the thing. I'm not happy with the decision, but I'm okay with Cejudo retiring.
I'm okay with that, too.
I think more fighters need to retire. I think more fighters need to retire on top.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this isn't wrestling, so you don't go out on your back and shit like that. But, like, yeah, I mean, if you have the opportunity, if you really think you've proved everything, which Cejudo is right. I mean, I hate the fucking 3C nickname because it's so fucking stupid. But, I mean, yeah, he's right, though. I mean, he's proved himself at 2 different weight classes in MMA. He's an Olympic champion. He has nothing else to fucking prove. So, I mean, it makes sense, really. I mean, even at 33, if he wanted to, he could still make a comeback if he wanted to. But he has nothing left to prove, really.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, let's talk main event. Gaethje Fergie, baby.
I mean, we haven't been roped into talking about this the whole time through.
Oh, I know.
With
we're going over
guys in the comments and stuff. Yeah, I mean, obviously this is one that we knew was going to be good. I just didn't know it was going to be
fight of the year.
Felt so
fight of the
one-sided.
year so far. Fight of the year.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, from what we've had so far this year, yeah, I would say this is definitely fight of the year. Just based
Definitely
on
best
the
fight
fact
I've seen in like a month and a half.
Yeah, that's very true. But obviously, when you brought up those stat line earlier, I didn't think it was that close. I literally thought this was like 3-1 Gaethje over Ferguson. I just didn't think Ferguson.
That's because the stuff that Ferguson was connecting with was all glancing, and Justin was keeping the pace on him. He was dodging. It was very very structured away from any of that BS.
Yeah, and clearly Ferguson has a different type of nose than everybody else because he was blowing out snot and blood out of his fucking nose, and nothing swelled up on him too bad. Like, because if it was Cerrone doing that shit, his eye would have fucking moused up and closed up like a fucking motherfucker. But I mean, it was a good fight for Gaethje. I think it proved a lot of people who weren't in his camp. I think it proved a lot of them wrong. To just at least say like, okay, the dude legitimately is fucking nasty, and he'll throw fucking bombs with the best of them, man. I mean, honestly, like some of the shit he threw, I can't believe Ferguson stayed up after those.
Yeah, I mean it's and the thing is with it's interesting to see with Ferguson, like just the reaction to Gaethje not melting. You learn a lot about people when they're in a scenario, and I think that this kind of exposed Tony a little bit, is that there is no backup plan. He could talk about all the strategy he has, but at the end of the day, you have an awkward moving style, but if the person in front of you doesn't crumble, you don't really have much to offer. And it's something that I've been saying about him for a while. I mean, I was the only one, and that's fine, but I've been saying Tony is pretty overrated. You know that. I've told you that before.
Yep.
And I don't think. And again, I'm not trying to fucking roll on the guy after he lost. I mean, that sucks for him, obviously. But I mean, as I go to the Tapology, I'll bring this up. And I think sometimes in MMA, we get a little too in love with people because they look like they should be good. Romero's like that. If you look at Romero's victories, he's got victories over a lot of people that used to be good, but not a lot of people in their prime now. I mean, like, again, you look at like the last. So these are the last Tony Ferguson fights, okay? And I'm just making my case for him being overrated, right? So we'll take the Gaethje one out, okay? You're talking, okay, so last fight, Cerrone. Who cares? Sometimes you beat people. And he was putting the beat on Cerrone, but that doesn't really mean anything because Cerrone is 2 different fighters, right?
Yep.
You beat Pettis. You beat Pettis, who you didn't even really put away. He just broke his hand on you.
True. So basically 2 times where a guy he's fighting basically
Correct.
losing the fight for themselves.
Yep.
So
You got Kevin Lee with a triangle choke when he was getting greedy and tired out round 3. Kevin Lee is not going to be a champ ever. He's just
Right.
not. Like, he'll be a perennial contender, but he's not going to be a champ.
yep.
And then you have
I would say that.
Yeah, and then you have Rafael Dos Santos, who, again, another cowboy guy where it's a coin flip. He's not that good either. He's another guy that looked good. He beat Pettis, so we all think he's real good, right? But then, like, you've got Lando Venata. I don't even know who the fuck that is. Like, how are you fighting a guy in 2016 that I've never heard of, but people are going to tell me you're one of the GOATs?
And that was round 2. So
Right, by Darce which is cool. Highlight reel shit, right? And then Edson Barbosa, cool. Okay, so check it out. This is a good, solid win, right? We're looking at 2015. Don't tell me some guy's a GOAT when the last quality win he got was in 2015. And then if you look, Josh Thompson is fine. That's okay. He's good. But that was still a decision, right? You got Gleason Tebow when he was fucking ancient. Lottie fucking Daw. And then it just starts going into no man land. Oh, by the way, you also lost to Michael Johnson. Nobody talks about that.
yeah.
But then as you go down, I mean, like, look at this shit. Look at one recognizable name because they're not fucking there. And obviously these are Fight Alliance fights, but I'm just saying the dude has 2 or 3 quality wins and they're just names that used to be something. Now let's go over and watch Gaethje, right?
Yeah.
So we go over to Gaethje, okay? And this is so now first off, Gaethje never lost till he got to the UFC, right?
Yep.
So now you go into Gaethje's world, right? And again, multiple champion, defended it multiple times, okay?
Yep.
He comes to the UFC. He beats the brakes off Michael Johnson. Round 2 KO. Spectacular. Okay?
Yep.
He loses to Eddie Alvarez round 3 in a fight that he was winning. He got sloppy and over-aggressive, and Eddie Alvarez punished him. And that's what happened. And guess what? That's going to happen with Eddie Alvarez. There's no shame in that, right?
Yep.
Then you have Poirier, who did beat the fuck out of him. I mean, Poirier was a genuine loss, and Poirier outclassed him. But again, that's a number 1 contender. That dude has fought for a belt. Eddie Alvarez used to have the belt. These are real contenders. And then you go up and you give him some fluff, right? People that he should just rail through. And James Vick, round 1 TKO. Barbosa, round 1 hook. Cerrone, hooks and uppercuts round 1. Like, when he was given anybody, and now this is a really, really good feather in his cap because not only did he beat Ferguson, he fucking stopped the motherfucker. And he looked good doing it. It did not look like fucking Ferguson was in that fight from round 2 on. He got that one stunned event where he cracked him, and from that moment on, it didn't even look like he was in the fight.
Yeah, but that happened pretty late, and it looked like he was still waiting for something else to happen. Like, he didn't follow it up. So, I mean, he had one real good shot. He didn't follow it up. It looked like he was timid to do it. So he kind of really lacked that killer instinct at that point. And, I mean, it really showed. Like, he was just kind of waiting for something else to happen. It never got another shot. And, I mean, again, I don't know if he would have been able to follow up another shot, though.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, it's you can go either way. Nobody really knows what could have happened, you know?
Right.
We only know what did happen.
Yeah, and that was pretty clear that from round 3, I mean, if you would have just even had this as a 3-round bout and it went to decision at that point, there's no one in their right fucking mind. But these judges were weird the whole night. But, I mean, it would have been, after round 3, I mean, 30 to 27 would be the best that Ferguson could have done. But I would have given it probably more like 30 to 26 after those first 3 rounds because Ferguson, again, had one opportunity and didn't do shit with it.
Yeah, those judges are weird. All right, let's do a little thing called What's Next, and then we will get you out of here, all right?
Sounds good to me, man.
All right, so we went over the cards. We're just going to go for real quick who you think they should fight next, and we'll just do the prelims on because nobody gives a shit, right?
Right.
What do you think is next for Vicente Luque, who is a welterweight? And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring up the rankings chart again just so we can actually look at everything and look at, yeah, I just think that'll help, right? So we've got right here. All right, boom. So,
well, Nico Price wasn't even rated going into this fight. So I honestly, the way he worked, I would say he might have worked his way into a ranking, or right on the cusp of that. I think Pettis
is going to get dropped from 15, and I think you're going to see. I think you're gonna see Luque so based on this, right? I think you're gonna see Luque go right up to 10 or 9. And I think you're going to see Pettis drop, and I think you're going to see Nico Price in the always great loss but an upgrade in rating. So I think you're going to see him right at 15 when all's said and done.
Yeah, so I would say like a good next fight for Price would probably be Jeff Neal, just to kind of see what he's got still. I mean, he's at number 12.
No, I think Price Lawler's the fight to make. Because you got Price, who just their styles would be amazing, but Robbie needs a win, and Price is the young rook that they might be able to leech one off of. But it would be very interesting.
That would be really interesting. I don't know
give him Rafael dos Santos. I would see that too. I think that Rafael dos Santos is probably the next for Luque.
Right.
Or Maya, but I don't think Maya's doing that. Maybe Gilbert Burns, but yeah. I hope he doesn't fight Chiesa, because I think Chiesa beat his ass.
Well, I think it would be too high to go for Luque to go up at Leon Edwards. I think that's too high for him to shoot there. But I would say if Luque could get Thompson, that would be kind of fun to see. Or I don't know. Is Diaz even still around? I mean, I see he's ranked and stuff like that, but I don't know. I don't remember the last time Diaz fought.
He is, but he's not coming out for anything but a lot of money. So the next time we see him will probably be the trilogy fight with McGregor, would be my guess.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Luque against Dos Anjos would be fun to see. I think that'd probably be the best shot, because it would be, who in the middle of the ranking is going to go up top 5 and get another shot. I don't know. Colby Covington's not going to give it his spot that high in the rankings and shit like that. So
yeah, well, you're not gonna get Covington. You might be able to get a Leon Edwards fight, or Thompson. The problem is, it's so hard to get fighters to take a fight from people ranked down. That's why the Ngannou fight was so special, because he grabbed a guy who would have been he was the number 1 contender, and he fought a dude that was ranked 12, I think. What is he on here?
Right.
Hold on. Oh, I guess he was 6. That's not that big of a dip, but whatever. All right, so Watterson and Cookie Monster.
This happened at strawweight.
Yep,
is that
we're
right?
at strawweight. There is Esparza. I think she's got to fight Joanna again. I think that's the fight to make.
Yeah, I think that'd probably be about right. Or it makes the most sense. Just
or Rose Namajunas again.
Yeah, either one of those would be a good fight for Esparza. I just don't know if – I think those two should probably fight each other again just to get a shot at the championship, in my mind. So, I don't know. It's weird because it's going to get congested until, the fights actually start being able to be held again, because Joanna needs to get over the States. Same thing with Zhang. So, I don't know. I think that one's going to be kind of a clusterfuck. I don't see them moving up too high, just because this really wasn't an overwhelming fight for Esparza. So,
right.
Watterson will go down. I think
Watterson and Herring or Torres is next. I think that's the next fight you make.
Yeah,
I think Watterson's going down 2 or 3 spots, and then you can reach with either Torres or Herring, where everybody knows. Because I don't think you're going to get her to fight Kavia, Cynthia, or Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I just don't think that. And then with Esparza, I think that you have to go up, because she's probably going to go up 1 or 2. And I think her and Joanna makes the most sense, if Joanna's ever able to fight again with that goddamn nose and face.
Right. Yeah.
All right, then wait, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I just don't know if there's another fight in the top 5 that she can take right now, that any of those gals don't want to just try and keep their spot and hope for the next championship fight. So,
all right, and then we have Olenek and Verdum. I don't even think Verdum was rated, right? Because he's been gone for 2 years. Here's the thing with Verdum. I think Verdum's going to bounce back from this fine. I think what we saw was just a lot of jitters and ring rust coming out early. It seemed like the fight was a little too fast for him, but he seemed like he settled in and got comfortable, and he fought a fight that was razor close. That could have gone either way. So, and not that Olenek's anything, but he's still hard, and the fact that Olenek was able to get out of some trouble spots against Verdum is very telling. So I think I think with him, you're looking at giving him either Walt Harris or Overeem again. Because a rematch with Overeem, maybe.
So whoever wins next Saturday?
What?
Whoever wins next Saturday then?
Yeah,
That's
I
the main event.
would think whoever wins next Saturday has Olenek.
Okay, I would agree to that.
That
I think that
or you know who else I think would be a good match? Rosenstruck.
Yeah, I was actually just kind of thinking that back in my mind too. It was like that might be a good fight for him. He's the old guy.
You give Verdum like Pavlovic or anybody else that's not in rankings just as a like tune up to get your confidence back fight. Like Verdum needs a confidence fight because this is his first back in 2 years. He got busted with the juice. So, you know, what's he going to really do?
I don't know. Bellator?
Yeah, right? Retire. I mean, he was the MMA, like he was the heavyweight champion. He doesn't have to fucking do anything.
Exactly.
All right, we got Pettis and Cerrone.
I don't know. I think those rankings are just so stacked right now. I think Luque did enough in his match to jump over Pettis and Cerrone. So, in my mind, I just don't think you move Pettis up too much just because he didn't really prove anything. Cowboy's still Cowboy, so whenever
I think Cowboy's a fill-in guy, and again, Cowboy's a really unique person where his ranking doesn't really matter. Like nobody really cares.
Right.
So I look for Cerrone to hop in the next time there's just anything open, you know. But I think with Pettis, you might be looking at a situation where he jumps down in weight again. Because even though the top end of 155 is stacked, you could jump over and you could fucking piece up Barbosa or Kevin Lee and get your shit back on track.
Well, that's true. I think it's going to be interesting. I think.
Or the other thing is Pettis might just dip because his brother's in Bellator now.
Is he?
Yeah, and if you're Pettis, you want to win. It's like Mighty Mouse, right? He could have fought Cejudo again and maybe won, but it's just easier to go to another place and get another belt to pack. You know, for him, it represents his third promotional belt.
Yeah.
Just pad that shit, you know?
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. I think, I don't know. I'm not a huge Rufus guy anyways, so, I mean, if Pettis went over to Bellator, I wouldn't fucking have a problem with it. But
all right, Greg Hardy. What do we do with fucking the woman beater?
I don't know. Put him against Ngannou and just say fuck it. Like
I don't think Ngannou takes that fight. I think that we could feed him to Derek Lewis.
I would love to see that. Actually, I would love to see Derek Lewis kick the shit out of him. I mean, or beat the fuck out of him with his fist.
Oh, I believe that, and that's gonna be fucking rad. And then he'll just be all like, "My balls was hot."
Apology accepted.
Yeah, I think. Because I really think that you give Olenek the winner of next Saturday's bout, and then I mean Greg Hardy's not on this list because he shouldn't be. But I would say, I don't know, Verdum can't do that to himself because Hardy is still younger and in better shape than Verdum is right now. So I would say you got to find some mid-level for him. I wouldn't put him on a main event. I'd put him in the maybe. I mean,
because with Ngannou, let's be honest, with Ngannou, he's just waiting in line. He's next up for a belt. That's what that is.
Right.
Because, I mean, if you look at the heavyweights, I mean, he's beat Blades. He's beat Dos Santos. Derek Lewis was the worst fight ever. He beat Rosenstruck. He beat Volkov. He beat Overeem. Like,
yeah.
So, like, there's nobody even around him that he hasn't beat.
Right. I don't know.
Most of those he beat within a minute.
Yeah.
Which is just absolutely fucking banana sandwiches.
Yeah. I think again you probably find some mid-level just to give Hardy more time, maybe like some more time away from the fucking fact that he still beats women and shit. So I don't know, like depending on how Walt Harris feels after his fight, if he loses and stuff, I wouldn't say, he'd probably be willing to go in and just kick the shit out of Greg Hardy and stuff too. I mean, honestly, I want to see what Walt Harris does on Saturday. That's actually the next fight I'm really hyped for the main event on Wednesday with Smith going against Teixeira. But next Saturday is going to be interesting too. Like that main event.
There's only two fights on that even matter at all, though. Oh, I guess Edson Barbosa's on there, so there's three.
Yeah,
but okay.
I'm just saying, like the main events, I'm really excited about stuff coming up for the rest of the week.
Sure. Okay. Stevens and Cater.
Stevenson has to fall pretty far on this one because again,
I
he
think
missed
the move. I think the move is Stevens Aldo too.
I like it. I mean, I wouldn't definitely be opposed to it. I think
Well,
it definitely makes
if
sense.
Jeremy is at 7, you figure he falls down to like 8 or 9 maybe. Like Aldo's
Yeah.
sitting at 11 and probably doesn't move at all. Meanwhile, with Cater, like you either give him Korean Zombie or Frank Edgar.
What about Yair Rodriguez?
I want to say those two already fought, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I guess either way, I think in that range, yeah, like 4 to 6 in that range, because he's going to probably move up to about 7 or like.
Shout out to Tapology.com, the best goddamn website ever for this shit.
Right. Very true. I think you put him if him and Stevens flip flop their rankings, which is very likely. I think you give him anywhere between that 4, 5, or 6 range, just because it makes more sense. Because again, that's a pretty stacked division. So. I
he
think,
fought Luis Rodriguez. He has not fought El Pantera. Okay, yeah. So then that's the fight to make, I would think. But yeah, that's pretty fucking great. All right. What do you do with Dominic Cruz now? Like, do you just tell him to retire? Or do
I don't know.
Or do you give him TJ Dillashaw again?
I don't want to see that. I don't know many people who do want to see that because would it be like the 3rd or 4th fight between those two?
What about Cruz and Aldo at that weight class? Because Aldo's in both weight classes.
I would be okay with that too. I think we're giving Aldo a lot of shots here, but or to at least move up. I think.
You know what Cruz, I like actually is I think I like Jimmy Rivera.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. I don't know, like Dotson maybe too. I don't know. It depends because I mean everybody's still kind of looking up at the top now, wondering what you're gonna do with the belt situation and shit like that. Who's gonna get the fucking title fights? Yeah, Rivera, I would say, or Rob Font might be a decent go as well. I just don't know. Like, I don't know where Cruz goes because this is kind of was supposed to be his return, his redemption fight, if you will, to come back from the injuries and shit like that, get back up on top, and it was just such a terrible fucking decision anyways as far as the stoppage and everything. So I just don't – I think you give him another shot at someone pretty high. So Aldo would probably be the best – name there for him to get in the rankings.
Yeah, I think you have to either do that or you just have to let him retire. I think that he saw a real way to beat Henry, and I honestly think that had that played out, you would have been looking at Cruz winning because he was well on his way to beating him in points, which we all saw coming. 5-round point fight.
Right. Yeah, I saw that coming too, but I think because of the champion retiring after retaining the belt, Cruz has to be in the conversation for who's next up, but you still need to give him a couple fights before you put him into a title fight again. So I think he has to work his way back up. So I think there's a couple of matchups that he would see. I think Aldo is one of them. And, I mean, I just don't know. I think Cejudo, again, it's a good decision for him, but I just don't. I think it throws a weight class into a little bit of chaos. I would say some of those guys from flyweight need to fucking move their asses up though and actually prove
I think that they
but
probably just need to close flyweight. I mean, once DJ was gone, like you stripped Cejudo of a belt that you didn't really enforce for no reason at all because you thought you could just give it to Benavidez, but that's not how it worked out.
Right.
Cut your losses, move up. Tell everybody else they got to move up. You got to move up 10 pounds, guys. Sorry. All right.
Yeah.
So now Gaethje just gets Khabib, right? Like that's kind of pretty cut and dry unless McGregor wants it. Like I think for Gaethje, there's only 2 fights and it's Khabib or Conor. And I think he wants Khabib more than Conor, but I also think that Conor has more of the management's ear, so he might be able to do something to make somebody come out to do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now with Ferguson, I believe there's only one fight for him, and that's Dustin Poirier because they have never fought.
Yeah, I would agree to that because I think that's just where you have to go. Poirier obviously still being high in the rankings.
This is also what I'm talking about, okay? So, like, you take Gaethje out of that, right? And you're looking at this top ranking here, okay? Felder never fought Ferguson. Hooker never fought Ferguson. Gaethje did tonight. McGregor's never fought him. Poirier's never fought him. Khabib's never fought him. You can't tell me this guy is the greatest of all time when 6 or 7 of your top 8 have never fought him. You can't, like, he didn't even fight L.A. Quinta. He hasn't fought Charles Oliveira. Like, you don't get to jump line and act like you're the greatest when you literally haven't beat anybody.
Right.
And this was the closest to just being, and I think everybody owes Gaethje an apology. I mean, I was riding with him. I thought he would win this, but everybody thought that I was fucking insane. But the thing about Justin Gaethje is that he doesn't, like, change who he is when the crucible of abuse starts. He just keeps fighting through it. And at the point where you do that, nobody's going to be able to stop you unless they really fucking try, you know?
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I think, Ferguson Poirier makes more sense than a lot of other stuff because he does need to start fighting some of these guys who are top 10 in that weight class to, gain more credibility. I mean, he was put up to the top because he looked like he was a world beater.
Right. I mean, I feel like it's fucking Romero all over again, where it's like they look like they should be something, so they're not. Also, did you know there's an event on May 13th?
Yeah, that's Wednesday.
That's fucking crazy, right? So we go from not having any to having 3 in 1 week.
Yeah, this is basically like their attempt at having like
this is how they don't get sued when like they owe all these people like contract fights, but it's really interesting because I don't know if you looked at Wednesday, but the headline of the prelim is fucking Andrei Arlovsky.
Really?
Yeah, he's fighting something called Felipe Lins.
Okay.
But yeah, he is the headline of the prelim on ESPN Plus.
Okay, well, if Arlovsky is fighting, if that guy's Brazilian, Arlovsky.
Dude, I don't even want to so I just brought it up on Google. The person he's fighting doesn't even have a profile pic.
Oh my god. He's 14-3. Doesn't have a profile pic, huh?
Yeah.
Click on his name and see if it gives like a nationality or something like that.
Nope.
Like,
just says created fighter.
They pulled somebody from UFC 3. Holy shit!
That's right. He's out of his weight class, and it's a creative fighter. Nothing he can do.
Well, that Michael Johnson fight should be something to see. I'll at least pay attention.
I don't
to
know
it,
who Thiago Moises is. I don't know who that guy is. Eubanks is okay. Yeah, this looks abysmal. I don't know who any of these motherfuckers are. Do you think this is the other Morales' brother? Probably. But look at this. This is what's weird, right? It's like, look at this main card. Like, who the fuck is this? Like, Ricky Simon, Ray Borg will be a slammer. That's fine. Drew Dauber and Hernandez, who gives a fuck? Why is Ben Rothwell still fighting? Why is OSP still fighting? Why is Glover Teixeira still fighting? Like, is this a Bellator card? What the fuck is happening here?
No, you needed that midweek one. Again, this is their makeup for not having fight week. In my mind, anyways.
But
I mean,
if you're
they
going to do
basically
makeup fights, you might as well make them decent, because even the Overeem card isn't very strong. Ooh, you got Matt Brown headline in the prelim, though. I love me some Matt Brown.
Hey, here's what we got to look forward to, right? Is that Donald Cerrone's already said that he'll fight on all 3 of these cards if he needs to. So
oh my God, that would be amazing.
Let's just hope one of these motherfuckers gets coronavirus, and then Cerrone's still there and be like, yeah, I'll fucking fight.
Is Cerrone,
sure, let's do
is
this.
Cerrone the greatest of all time if he somehow manages to fight on all 3 of these?
Oh, he would be the greatest of all time because nobody's done that shit since like back in like the original UFC, and we all consider like some of those guys from back in the day, like that did the tournaments and shit like that. Like Shamrock and Severin and all those as some of the greatest of all times, and that's because they would go 2 fights in a night or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see it, and the reason I'm a big Cowboy fan is just based on the fact that he takes whatever fucking fight is thrown his way. He's not really a championship guy. He kind of proved that because he just can't get out of his own way when it comes to big-time fights. But if he's able to fucking fight 3 times this week, more power to him, man. Like, I just love that dude. Like, his attitude.
I would watch it, and that's what was kind of cool about the Pettis win. Like, I get you could say that Cowboy won or that it was close or this and that, but Pettis needed that win. Cowboy doesn't. Yeah. Cowboy could lose every fight and they would still book him.
Yeah, because he's a name.
There are certain people where at the end of the day, you don't really remember their win-loss record. Like Vanderlei Silva's one of them. Clay Guida's one of them. Like they go forward and they bang like Cerrone. Even Gaethje like isn't known for his win-loss record, even though the dude's only lost twice.
Yeah. Yeah, you just want to see a guy go out there and, I don't know, put on a show. And, like, that was the thing. Some of these cowboy fights and stuff like that, he's just had shows. Like, even that, like, after round 2 or whatever, he goes over to Pettis and just goes, let's fucking do this, man. Like, they're having fun out there. Cowboy brings out the best in everybody, teams like. So,
yeah. Well, and that was one of my
fun.
on the sly favorite moments of this fight was when Gaethje went over to talk to fucking Ferguson, and then he like pushes him off, and Justin goes, "You don't get anywhere by being an asshole."
Which is weird because Gaethje was an asshole coming into the UFC.
Yeah, but I mean, he never like the thing about Gaethje is like it's not just that he's won every fight, but like he has won every fight by stoppage. Even tonight will go down as like his most tested and true challenge and this and that. But guess what it is in the win column? It's still a fucking stoppage.
Yep.
Like that's what's so fucking insane about Gaethje if you think about it. I mean, we're basically looking at the recreation of the Robbie Lawler. I mean, it's almost exactly what happened with Lawler, you know? And the thing about Gaethje that's so crazy is he talks about how he needed to lose those 2 fights to improve because you have nothing to work on when you're winning.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think we'll see what happens with the rest of these cards. I think maybe there's going to be a couple surprises that we just don't know anything about some of these guys. So
yeah, I would agree with that. I think that we're going to see a bunch of shit popping up.
Yeah, it's just smart for them to like book 3 events in Jacksonville because Florida's the only place that is willing to say that wrestling is an essential business and shit like that. And I guess, you know, mixed martial arts can fall underneath that banner and stuff.
We all knew that the UFC would be the first one back, though, right? Like all of us knew that.
Yeah, because if you're willing to test everybody who goes into a ring or whatever, or an event, and you know, obviously only one of them tested positive. I mean, that's the thing. All their ring guys, all the guys going to their corners and stuff like that, they all have to be tested as well. So, I mean, this kind of gives a little bit more hope about getting sports back in some way or another. I mean, obviously without fans and stuff like that, but it gives a lot more hope to that being the thing coming or going forward and stuff, is that we might have some fucking more live events and all. So,
all right, it makes sense. Hey, I'm gonna let you go, Tom. Tell everybody where to find you.
At Tom Chilstrom on Twitter and Instagram, facebook.com/Tom.Chilstrom, or literally just Google my ass. Make sure you spell Chilstrom with 2 L's, and you'll be able to find me.
All right, buddy. Sounds good.
Hey, thanks, Corey. This has been a lot of fun, man.
Yeah,
have a great night.
Thanks for joining me. I know you and I had talked about doing stuff afterwards to break it down. So, I mean, I probably should have done my regular show tonight, but I didn't because I wanted to watch this. Sorry, guys. Not sorry. But,
right.
I mean, I think, like, you and I will probably end up doing this more because why not talk about it right after it's done? You know, like, it seems like that would get more traction anyways.
Well, I think next Saturday will be a good time to do that too, because it may not be the best fights, but it'll at least be still something to talk about.
Yeah, hey man, it's all MMA now, baby. It's all back. We did it. It's back. All right, buddy.
Right.
Have a good one. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Absolutely, man. Later.
Bye. That was Tom Chilstrom joining us. Let's see here. We're gonna call Drew real quick. Hold on. Where's it? There it is. Bloop, bloop, bloop. There we go.
We're going to think on this.
Hello?
Corey Adam.
What up, dog? Zuh?
What up, dude?
What's going on?
Yo, those fights were ridiculous, so I understand why you were lost in them.
Say that again?
I watched the fights.
Oh, nice.
And I understand why you got lost in them.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, the whole thing was I was going to do something earlier, and then I didn't. And then it came to where it was close to showtime, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I want to watch the MMA. So I did. But I think what we're going to do with this one is we might just cut it close. What are you doing tomorrow?
Well, my name is Zach Ashton, and I'm here as well. We're doing nothing all day tomorrow except for getting drunk
Why
we are
Why
right
the fuck are you in North Dakota, Zach?
Because I'm everywhere, dog. Because
Zach,
I'm
you already got airtime on this show. Stop being a dick. Let Drew,
Yo,
Drew,
exactly.
Drew, tell people who you are.
All I told to him was, hey, man, we need some free time. And he said, hey, man, I did Adam's podcast. I was like, hey, I've talked to Corey Adam before. And he said, I'm coming up because it's going to happen.
Yeah, because I'm on my way. I just needed to talk to you, Corey, to stalk you some more.
No,
And
man,
I'm
I
back.
told you, Zach, I'm a gatekeeper, and the answer is no.
Why, you know what? I'll just keep banging on that door until you say yes.
Stop
like John Russell
showing
and
up.
Everybody
Stop.
else. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Zach, you stop showing up at my guest house, you piece of shit.
Oh shit!
Well, you know, I'm just ahead of the news. I'm ahead of the news.
Wait, is that your guest house? He's had me break into it multiple times.
What the fuck? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I just thought it was like his grandparents and they were some piece of shit rich old people.
You guys are both just outrageous pieces of shit. You know that?
Can't stop, won't stop, dude. You know, like,
I'm having a highly functional MMA recap show, and you're ruining it with your fucking.
here's my thing. All
Murph.
right.
We might be actually live. Are we live right
we
now?
live?
Yes,
I've
I'm
been-
live. I'm live right now, and you're ruining the
He's on
show.
the laptop.
Highland.
across the room.
Across the
Apology
room, I have my laptop
accepted.
open and like online set to your Twitter thing because I didn't know if you're gonna have me on or not. So I've been listening to your post-fight thing for the last couple hours, and I guess Zach and I have gotten into a conversation,
We
so I
did
didn't realize.
shots. We did a lot of shots.
All right,
Things happen.
we've been doing shots. We're trying to keep up with Coca-Cola.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna be a mess just like Joe. I'm kidding. I love him
Zach,
so
you're
much.
already a mess.
Well, that's fair.
But no, it's across the room, so I can see my face in that picture on the screen.
I chose the one that said Deutschland because that's apparently how you say Dakota.
I didn't know where I was moving, and apparently I ended up in Jamestown, North Dakota, Germany. It's a really weird spot.
That's a weird spot to be.
Between Frankfurt and Berlin is the North Dakota.
All right, Corey, I
What?
just have one genuine MMA question for
Oh,
you
my God.
that I always wanted you to answer. I'm dead ass.
Okay, ask me, Street Jesus.
I will. I'm the trash wizard. I'm going to ask you. All right. So if GSP had lost the weight and he fought Conor McGregor and they're both in their prime, who wins? Because I'm picking GSP. Like, right the fuck now.
Well, we saw it happen.
No,
I
we
mean,
didn't.
not in
No,
the
we
right-
didn't.
Not
Yeah.
in those.
I mean, I don't know.
Thing-
Like the thing about Conor is that if Conor's in his prime, he has that chance, but it's a puncher's chance. You have to go with grapplers. You know, it's the same thing with Khabib.
Right. Right.
Like I think the best Conor McGregor ever shows up, he has a chance to beat Khabib. But I think that if anything but the best Conor McGregor shows up, he loses to Khabib. And I think the same is true with GSP. Now, the real question is who wins between GSP and Khabib? That's the question I want to know.
Ooh, dude, and I'm so fucking pissed that Dana wouldn't have that fight. Like, GSP asked for it, and Dana was like, no. And I was like, fuck you. Come on now.
But at
What are
same
the
time,
odds?
aren't
What are
we-
the odds
aren't
that
we
like
doing-
Khabib made a phone call and that fight has happened just in like closed doors and we just never will know about it?
No, I don't think it's that. I think Dana White, and I'm sorry, he books it like fucking wrestling.
Yeah.
Listen, if GSP
Why are you sorry
wins,
about that? MMA
if
people
GS
know and
no,
love
but
that.
I mean, that's fine. But if GSP wins, he's an old guy who's just gonna pick up his ball and go home.
Yeah,
And
well,
now
that's
you
what he did with
Khabib, you know.
that's what he did with Bisping. He showed up, he beat Bisping, and then he ran off into the sunset with the belt.
Well, also that was just an easy win, and he
Yes.
fucking knew it. Like,
Well, but
you know.
as modern MMA goes forward, right? You don't get to be brought up in the GOAT conversation if you're not a champ at least 2 weights. And so it was a way for him to
And-
cement
and
his
you-
legacy because he was never
and you ride out like Peyton Manning with the
right.
belt, so
or like
people
or like
can't
or like
really say
Cejudo
he
did
lost
tonight.
it.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, here's the deal, Drew. I was going to do a full show tonight. I'm not going to. So we're going to cut this short, okay? Tomorrow I will hit you up though and we will have you on tomorrow.
Hey man, I'm happy to do it.
Or Monday or
I
whatever's
had-
easier for you.
Tomorrow will be fine. I had no one coming in tonight, which is weird because I had that guy cover for me for those 3 hours I allotted for this show. And that's
You
just because I
fucked up. You
Oh,
fucked
shit.
up.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah, man,
it's real. Like,
I've been playing on my Xbox.
at least you don't hold a grudge or rub shit in people's faces, you prick.
All I'll say is I've been talking shit with Tobar about you not having an Xbox, and that's the only thing I hold against you, man. Like otherwise, I'm so happy to do it, and I'm happy to be here for you when you want it. Otherwise, I'm just trying to fuck myself.
Zach, why does it feel like that's not the first time he said that sentence?
It felt natural, right?
Right. It came right out of his mouth, and he knew what was going on. All right, Zach, tell the people. Zach, Drew's not used to being on the radio. Tell the people who you are.
My name is Zach Ashton, and you can check in with us tomorrow on Corey Adams.
Wait. Does that mean I have to deal with you on it too?
Well, you may have to. I'm not making promises.
He's literally staying in the hotels that I live
I'm just staying here till you get a new guest, and then I'll be at their fucking house.
Fuck you,
What do
you
you think
guest
about
stalking motherfucker. Knock it off.
If the next guest doesn't have a hotel, he's fucked.
God damn it! I didn't win the Sisyphus contest,
From
but I
time
came
to
close
time.
enough to bug the shit out of you. That's all I'm saying.
Dork. What a dork.
I mean, I don't know. This fucking going to guests and like stalking my guests is actually bugging me more, you piece of shit.
Okay. That's bugging me more than getting to the Super Bowl, man. I get it.
Yo, either way.
All right, I'm gonna cut you loose. Sorry that we had to postpone it, but we'll get. Because here's the thing, I wanted to make sure that I called you and touch bases with you, but I also wanted to make sure that it wasn't just this, because we gotta get more time than that with you, buddy.
Yo, I'd love it and I'd appreciate it, and I think it'd be fun to finally have like a real long conversation with you, opposed to like the few that we've had outside of Sisyphus or I don't know.
Between your blathering and Zach's there, I just think that
That's just, I'm not helping your cause. I'm not helping your cause.
we just got followed by the true Messiah, so God's there.
Fisticuffs whenever he wants. That's
right.
all I'm saying.
All right, buddy. You guys have fun. I will talk to you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Bye. All right. That was Drew and Zach. You can see more from them for tomorrow. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this one short. This one's not going to be that long tonight. Remember, we do this Friday through Tuesday. Let's see here. You know what? True Messiah came in and followed, so we will talk to you real quick. You know what? We're gonna make sure you get your fucking MMA conversation. You pop in like a fucking pro, you follow, and then you start talking fucking knuckle sports. I like that about you. Yeah, those few fights were good, man. They were super rad. That Gaethje fight was awesome. It's pretty dope. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna move into the end phase. Here we go. Don't forget to go to Venmo. Venmo, Corey Adam Comedy. Anything you give me will help. Don't want to brag, but I need the money. Comedy's not paying the bills. Trying my best. Also, don't forget to follow across all the social media. Usually, just so you know, this True Messiah, usually we start 7:30 to 7:45, and we go to 10:30. Tonight, I didn't do one of those because I opted to do some MMA coverage. I wanted to watch UFC, if I'm honest. I don't feel like I should have to explain myself, but no, Central Time. So if you're on Pacific, that is 5:30 to 10:30. You can also look at as a follower, you can go back and watch videos, or you can go to Corey Adam Comedy on YouTube and watch them there. You're on the Eastern. Okay, so then it would be an hour. So for you, it would be 8:30 to 11:30, Friday through Tuesday. And again, I should have been on tonight, but I didn't because I was watching UFC because we haven't had fucking sports in like months, man. I was going stir crazy. And Justin Gaethje's my guy. I had to watch my guy beat up El Kakui, and he fucking did, and it felt fucking great. Yeah, we usually, most of the time, we're not talking MMA, but we did have, we had Corey Cup on last night. Yeah, what a fight. Fight of the year, easy right now. You could say Hooker Felder is in that category as well. What is it? Volkanovski and Holloway. Those are probably the three top fights of the year so far to me. You guessed every fight, right? That's crazy, except for the women's. Well, yeah, but I mean, Watterson won that fight, right? I mean, that was crazy. Oh, you didn't take a guess there. Okay. Yeah, I picked Cruz and I lost there, but I felt like that was a bullshit decision. Here, I'll run through what my actual let me grab up my ledger here quick, and I will run through exactly what I picked. I didn't place any bets on the early prelim. Let's see here. I picked Souza, but he didn't show up. I picked Nico Price, he lost. I picked Watterson, she lost. I picked Olenek, he won. I picked Cerrone, he lost. I picked Greg Hardy, he won. I picked Kelvin Cater, he won. I picked Rosenstruck. I went against Nagano and I got fucking owned. I picked Cruz, he lost, and then I picked Gaethje and he won. So, yeah, I mean that happens, man. Nothing wrong with fucking guessing in between your friends. But yeah, thank you to everybody watching this. We do it every night, Friday through Tuesday. We will be back tomorrow at our normal time, which is 7:30 Central Time, which would be 8:30 Eastern Time, till 10:30. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much. No way you bet on Jairzinho. No, I did. The thing about it is just like I loved the fact that dude was calling him out, and I started to believe this type. I do this thing sometimes where I second guess myself. Like, I know in the back of my head that I should be betting against Nagano unless it's somebody that's going to wrestle fuck him because he has absolute canyons for hands. But, like, fuck, man. I did not see it going down like that. That shit sucked. You know, the whole thing about it that was fucking crazy was, like, I was watching it and, like, he ran forward. Like, he looked like fucking Luigi in Smash Brothers. Just whoop, 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 whoop. Arms spinning as he goes forward. Chin way the fuck out there. And then just glancing blow, glancing blow, glancing blow. The guy is dead. And that's fucking crazy to me. All right, we're done here. We will see you guys tomorrow. Come back and see us tomorrow, baby. Woo!
To our town, microphone, I'm on this. Supper.